welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another tier ranking video, and I thought I would tier rank some BookTok books, because BookTok is the reason why I kind of fell in love with reading again. It inspired me to pick up books again and start reading. What is my hair doing? Geez, what is this hair right now? It's not a vibe, but we go with it. Anyway, yeah, so I started reading again because of BookTok, and then I read The Magpie Society back in 2020, and that kind of spurred on my reading habits again. And yeah, a lot of my book recommendations I found from BookTok. I now realise there's a lot of BookTok books I don't genuinely like, but I thought it would be fun to tier rank them, and yeah, let's get on into it. The hair is just not hairing today, so we're just gonna have to deal with that fact. I look extremely bushy and very unmanageable, and yeah. So I've started a screen recording, and the different categories that we have for this is so the top one is would sell my soul to experience this for the first time again. Love it. It was enjoyable but forgettable. Did I like it? Would I recommend it? Sure. TBR/want to read. Never heard of it, and I am simply not picking this book up and have no interest in reading it. So yeah, those are our categories. I found this tier ranking one just randomly on the website, so I will just, I've had to adjust a couple of the categories to fit me more, but yeah, no, so let's get on to it and we'll just do. So the first book is My Dark Vanessa, and I've never heard of this one, so that is just going straight into never heard of, because I've never heard of that book ever. I've never even seen it mentioned on BookTok, but it may just not be coming up on the BookTok that I watch, because there's a lot of books that people say are BookTok books, and I've just never seen them on my particular BookTok, but I think that's because everyone's is different. Okay, up next is Verity. This is going on my TBR/want to read, because I don't own it physically, but when I first got my Kindle a few years ago, that was one of the first books I ever bought, because a lot of people were talking about it, and I heard it was really good, and I tend to quite like Colleen Hoover books, so yeah, that is definitely on a TBR/want to read one. Okay, up next we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. We all know this one is going in would sell my soul to experience this for the first time again. I love the whole off-campus Briar U Campus Diaries universe, and The Deal is what started me off with that series, and I absolutely love it. I just think it's incredible. I love the characters. I love the story. Is The Deal my favourite in that entire series? No, it's not. But if I read that book again for the first time, it means I get to experience the rest of the series again for the first time, and I adore it. Okay, up next is Ugly Love. This one is going on TBR/want to read. I've had Ugly Love on my TBR for quite a while now, and I keep meaning to read it. I've heard quite mixed reviews about Ugly Love. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I guess that's how it is with Colleen Hoover books. A lot of people either love it or hate it. But I do really want to read the last couple of Colleen Hoover books that I own, and Ugly Love is one of them. Okay, if you ever wonder why my hair's always up in all my videos, this is why. I had tried having it down and it just annoyed me too much, so the hair is now up in a ponytail. But yes, no, next book is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I'm gonna put it in, it was enjoyable but forgettable. I really do enjoy the Twisted series, but mainly when I say that, I'm referring to book 2 and 3 in that series, Twisted Games and Twisted Hate. I love those two books. I love Twisted Games and Twisted Hate so much. I just love the stories and the characters, and I just think they're incredible. But Twisted Love and Twisted Lies I really don't like. Twisted Lies is my least favourite. I've said it many times. But I would say Twisted Love is enjoyable but forgettable, and the whole thing with the singing, just no. Look, I'm a musical girly. I love music. I love musicals, but just no, how his character was portrayed in that book, and then suddenly this man was singing, I was like, no. Anyway, up next we have November 9th by Colleen Hoover. This is another one in my TBR/want to read. I love how the only books in that category so far are Colleen Hoover. It's because I've not read many Colleen Hoover books. I've only read, I think, around about 5 or 6 of them, and I have enjoyed every single one that I have read. And these are just ones that I just haven't had a chance to get around to. I have to be in the mood to read a Colleen Hoover book. Like, I can't just pick one up and read it. I have to be, like, physically in the mood to pick it up and read it. Next is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. This is going in, I'm simply not picking this book and I have no interest in reading it. I did own this book. I have since sold it. And that is because I've heard that Mariana Zapata is the queen of slow burn romances. I don't fuck with slow burn. I really don't. There's only a couple of slow burn books that I enjoy, and they are ones that, like, they have other things going on in the story to make the slow burn worth it. But from what I've heard, a lot of the times the Mariana Zapata books, it's just a lot of build up of tension. And I can't be fucked with that. Like, if the characters aren't together by the 50% mark, at least, then I get bored. Okay? Like, I don't like insta love. I'm not saying I like insta love books, because I really don't. But I also don't like when they literally don't get together until, like, the last 30% of the book, because I'm just bored by that point, and I'm like, just get on with it already. Probably might get some hate for that, because people love that kind of stuff, but... Okay, Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is another one going in, I'm simply not picking this book up and have no interest in reading it. I owned this book and I sold it. And that is because I had it on my shelf for so long, and every time I looked at this series, I was like, do I actually want to read these books? And the answer was no. I think Hook, Line and Sinker is book 2. But, yeah. Because It Happened One Summer is the first one. I'm just going to pop that straight into the same thing, because I just don't have any interest in reading them. I sold my copies. I know that M has read these and enjoyed these. I just personally have no interest in reading them. Okay, next is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is another one going in, I simply have no interest in it. I think I also owned this. When I started buying books again, I just bought a bunch of books that were like BookTok books. And then when I started realizing what my tastes were when it came to books and reading, I realized I don't really like a lot of BookTok books. And the ones that I do like are ones that I think I started reading at like the start of my reading journey, and some of them that I read like when I first started reading, I probably wouldn't like now, just because I know my tastes have changed so much in the last 5 years since I got back into reading. Next, The Spanish Love Deception. No, hell no. I tried reading this. I got 40 pages in and I was bored out of my mind, so I stopped reading it, and I was like, oh, I'll come back to it. I never went back to it. I sold that book. This one was another one of the slow burn camp. Apparently, the entire plot of the story is for them to, he's gonna be her fake date at a wedding in Spain. They don't actually get to the wedding in Spain until the last 30% of the book. And I'm just like, isn't the whole point of the book that he's supposed to be her fake date? But yeah, I can't, I don't want to, no. Okay, you will see that I've just added an extra category, and that is, I question why I ever read this, and that's because I see a book coming up that I do question why I ever read it. Because, just why? So, up next, we have Culty by Mariana Zapata. This is another one that I am simply just not going to pick up, and for the same reason as before, she's the queen of slow burn. I don't fuck with slow burn. It's not my thing. There's, some books that I give the exception to, like the Boys of Tommen series, but I'm not a slow burn girly. Okay. Up next we have the Inheritance Games. This one I'm going to put in TBR / want to read. I did used to own this series, but I had the old UK covers and I really didn't like them. So I wanted to get them in the new covers, but then I never bought them in the new covers. And I kind of just like put them out of my mind because I didn't think I would ever want to read them. But then I made friends with a lovely human being called Cam. We made friends earlier, I think it was actually like last year at this point, and they're so lovely. And the Inheritance Games is one of their favorite series, so I think it's actually their all-time favorite series, and I really do want to give it a try just so I can talk to them about it, because we have bonded over our love of Hannah Bonham Young books and also the Maple Hills trilogy by Hannah Grace, because we both love them. So yeah, I want to read the Inheritance Games so we can talk about that as well. So yeah, Cam, if you see this, hi, I love you. But yeah, no, I want to give the Inheritance Games a chance and see if I enjoy it. Up next, we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This one is going in... I'm simply not picking this up, and that is because... Now, this is going to contradict what I said about the last one, but that's because it's YA, and I don't particularly enjoy YA books. Like, there's some very rare exceptions to that rule, but I don't particularly enjoy reading YA books, and I just don't really have a fun time with them, and honestly, it just never even interested me. So... Up next we have They Both Die at the End. This one is another one going in. I simply am not picking it up and not going to read it. And that is because I owned it. There's another one I owned, I sold, and I just don't have any interest in it. I know a lot of people seem to love this book. I just personally never had any interest in it, and I think I just bought it because it was BookTok famous. But yeah, no, it's just... not something I ever have any interest in. It's not something I think I would enjoy. I know I am primarily a fantasy and romance girl, and that falls into neither of those categories. I mean, at least I don't think it does. I don't even know. I don't think it has any romance in it, if I'm being completely honest, but I don't really know. Okay, up next. This is the book that I made that I question why I ever read this for, and that is After by Anna Todd. Now, okay... Everyone feel free to judge me for this. The first time I ever read the After books, I read the first two, I gave them both 5 stars. Feel free to judge me in the comments below, okay? This was before I realised what good books were, okay? This was before I understood what good literature was. And this book just was not it. Do I enjoy the After movies? Yes, but that's because they're so bad they're good. If I want to just watch a movie that is so bad that I just have a great time while watching it, the After movies are what I go for. Because that relationship is toxic as shit. Like, that is the example of a bad relationship. And the books, like, if you want to read the After series, just read the first book and then you know the entire plot of the series. Because what happens in the first book happens in every single book. And those books are so goddamn long. The fact that I read the first 2 books in that series astounds me. Because when I got to book 3, I was like, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, no, that is one that I wish I had never read because I can't erase that shit from my memory. Okay, next up we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This is another one that I'm not picking up. And I just don't want to read. I owned it. I never read it. I sold it on my Vinted. Simple as. Next we have Daisy Jones and the Six, and this is one I have actually read, and this one is another one that's going to go into it was enjoyable but forgettable. I really enjoyed Daisy Jones and the Six when I read it. I gave it a 5 stars, but if you ask me to describe anything that happened in that book, like fuck I could tell you. I do not remember a single thing that happened in that book. I just know there was a lot of drugs and drama. That is about it. That is all I know. Like, yeah, if anyone asks me what happened in that book, I would not be able to tell you because I don't know. I have no clue. But I had a great time when I read it, and the audiobook is phenomenal. So if you want to read it, I suggest listening to the audiobook because the audiobook is great. But yeah, no, I have no clue what happened in that book. If you asked me, if you held a gun to my head and said, if you tell me the description of this book and what happened in it, and then it'll save your life, I would be dead. Okay, up next we have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is another one I'm simply not going to read because I just don't have any interest in reading Emily Henry's books. Everyone seems to love them, but whenever I look at them, they just don't really seem to draw me in. I just don't think I would enjoy them. If I'm being completely honest, I like a very specific kind of romance. Like, I'm very much a sports romance girly and a romantasy girly. And from what I know, Emily Henry's books are not sports romance. So, yeah. Next we have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one I did own and I got rid of it, but I am going to add it to my want to read just because I want to read more Taylor Jenkins Reid books. Because I really did enjoy Daisy Jones and the Six, and I do plan on reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo soon for a reading vlog, so look out for that. But I just haven't read any of them. Yeah, I want to read more Taylor Jenkins Reid books, so that's why it's going in want to read. That could change in the future, but who knows. Up next we have We Were Liars. I'm going to put this in I'm not interested because I'm not. I know this was quite popular a while ago, but in like recent years and like recently, a lot of the time when people talk about this book, I've heard not great things and a lot of people seem to hate it. So next up we have Funny You Should Ash, and that's going in never heard of it because I've never heard of that book. I've never heard of it. Same with the next one, Every Last Word, just yeah, can go in there because why not? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that one. Okay, up next we have Shatter Me. And this one, I'm going to put it in, did I like it? Would I recommend it? Sure. Now, with this one, when I say I would recommend the Shatter Me series, I mean the first 3 books specifically. The books after that, you can just disregard. The first 3 books, I think, wrap up the story pretty well, and I think it should have just stayed a trilogy. I was actually talking to Ida about this recently, and she's read, I think, the first Shatter Me book. But, like, with the rest of them, like, book 2 and 3, really good. I enjoyed book 2 and 3. But after that, I think they should have just stopped, the author should have just stopped the series. And I feel like the rest of the series and all the little novellas were just kind of a money grab to, like, get more money out of it because it was doing so well. But personally, I just think that it just, I did I enjoy it when I read it? Yes. Would I ever read that series again? Hell no. I would not, because I just didn't have fun with it. Up next we have 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I'm putting it in there for a second while I just move up the screen. This is going in with some of my soul to read again for the first time. I love 1,000 Boy Kisses. This book broke my little heart. I read this last year and it was absolutely amazing, and it's one of those books that has stuck in my brain since I read it. I really loved it. It's a 5-star read for me, and it's a very heartbreaking story. Geordie, you have done this to me. You have hurt my little soul, because she's the one who told me to read it. Well, her and Em actually, but yeah, it hurt me. Okay, it hurt me. But yeah, no, I loved 1,000 Boy Kisses, and I'm looking forward to reading the sequel, because I do own the sequel, just haven't picked it up yet because I'm not ready for the emotional pain. Okay, so up next we have Bunny. I've heard of it, but I just have no interest in reading it, so it's going in there, and that's it. Honestly, the next couple of ones are going to go into, so I'm just going to add them into there. So Circe, or whatever it is, The Song of Achilles, The Cruel Prince, and If We Were Villains are all going in. I'm simply not picking these up because I have no interest. And that's how it's always been. Like, I've heard people talk about these books on BookTok, and I know a lot of people enjoy them. I personally just don't have any interest in reading them, so I'm never going to pick them up. And I have stopped recently, within like the last year, buying books just because other people think they're good, because I've read so many books that I've just not enjoyed just because you've been recommended them on BookTok, even though I know I'm not going to enjoy them. So yeah, those are all just going in there straight away. Up next we have Punk 57. This one is going to go into TBR/want to read. I do want to give this book a chance because I have heard people enjoy it, but I don't, like, I want to, like, form my own opinion on it because I've heard, like, mixed reviews. Next, my baby, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Let's just go all the way to the top to I Would Sell My Soul. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you will know that I am obsessed with the ACOTAR series. I love that series. I read ACOTAR at the start of last year, and then I read the majority of the Throne of Glass series last year, and I finished the last 3 books in that series at the start of this year. My next adventure is Crescent City. I'm holding off for a little while because I'm in a bit of a reading slump, and I think if I try and pick up that series, it'll make it worse because it's a thick ass series. But anyway, ACOTAR has such a special place in my little heart. That series is what opened up the world of fantasy books for me. I have read so much more fantasy in the last year since reading the ACOTAR series than I have ever. Like, I've obviously read fantasy books in the past, and there's certain ones I picked up and stuff, but I've never really been drawn into the genre. And then I read the ACOTAR series. There's something about it that just holds such a special place in my heart. And, like, objectively, I will say, I think the Throne of Glass series is better than ACOTAR, because it is. But that does not take away my love that I have for the ACOTAR series, because I just love that series. I love the characters, I love the world, and I just want to read it again for the first time. I just actually want to reread it, period. But I need to read my other books because I have quite a few on my TBR. Anyway, now that I've gone onto that tangent for like a few minutes about ACOTAR, Jesus. Anyway, up next we have Neon Gods. This one I'm going to put it into TBR/want to read. I've heard good things about it. I've heard it's spicy. That's my kind of book. I will add it there. Same with the next one, Colleen Hoover. I love me a bit of Colleen Hoover books. We know this. The first 3 books in the TBR/want to read category were Colleen Hoover. Up next we have Six of Crows. This is going into I simply don't want to pick it up, and that's because I don't. I owned the entire universe. I owned the Shadow and Bone trilogy, the Six of Crows duology, and then the one that comes after that, I think it's like King of Scars duology. And I owned them for like 2 years, and I never had any interest in picking them up. I don't even know why I owned... Actually, I do know why I owned them. BookTok. BookTok said they were good. Everyone seemed to love them. And I was like, oh, I'll give it a chance. I'll read them. I didn't read them. They got sold, and I'm never going to read them. Like I said, I stopped doing this now. I don't buy books just because BookTok says they're good anymore. I did this for a long time, and I wasted a lot of money, and I've not gotten even half of that money back. Now I just buy books that I know I will enjoy. And that is why I've been able to get my TBR down a lot within the last year, because I've decluttered a lot of books from my shelves. Okay, up next we have Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This one I'm going to put it into... it was enjoyable but forgettable. Because did I enjoy it when I read it? Yes. Would I ever read it again? No. Did I enjoy the movie? Yes. I really enjoyed Red, White and Royal Blue when I read it. Like, you can tell how... Like, actually, I can't even say this because it's not true. When I first read it, I thought, oh, this is the kind of spice you get in, like, actual books, because I grew up reading Wattpad books, okay, and we all know what a dark, deep hole that is. But I thought that was the extent of what spice could be. I was very, 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 very wrong. But this is one of the first books I read, okay? We live and we learn. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed Red, White and Royal Blue when I read it. But I would never read it again. I've since sold my copy of it. And yeah, just... it was enjoyable at the time, but it's a very forgettable book, and I can't. And like I said with the other ones in that categories, if you held a gun to my head and asked me what happened in that book, I would not remember, and you would have to shoot me. Okay, up next we have A Little Life. That is going in. I am not picking it up because I value my sanity. Okay. I have seen the emotional damage this book does to people. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm not picking that up, okay? I already cry enough as it is on a daily basis. I am not letting a book do that to me, alright? Just, no. Okay, next we have You've Reached Sam. This one is going into... Did I like it? Would I recommend it? Sure. I kind of enjoyed this when I read it. It wasn't my favourite. When I got told to read this book, a lot of people said that it, like, emotionally wrecked them. I personally didn't find it that sad. Like, yeah, it is a sad book, and it does deal with grief and things like that, but I personally didn't even cry at it. I think I gave it a 3-star when I read it. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favourite thing in the world, so... Like, would I recommend it? Yes, because I think a lot of other people would enjoy it. Just personally, it wasn't my cup of tea. And I have since sold my copy of it. I read it a while ago. I think I read it at the start of 2022. Yeah, because I read It Ends With Us straight after finishing it. Look, I chose violence in 2022, alright? Okay, A Touch of Darkness. This one is going on to my TBR/want to read. It's actually on my shelf because Ida and Lex got it me for Christmas. Next we have Dance of Thieves. This one is going into... I'm not going to pick it up. And that is because I've heard a lot of negative reviews about it. And it's apparently supposed to be this great enemies to lovers, but enemies to lovers where is what I've heard from about it. So, you know. Every Summer After... Not picking it up. Same with The Silent Patient. Same with Normal People. And yeah, just no interest in it. Same with the next one. And the next one. And the next one. Jesus. So yeah, I just added Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. The Silent Patient by Alex something, Normal People by Sally Rooney, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. And that is because I do not want to read a Sally Rooney book because apparently she does not know what quotation marks are. And I'm not putting up with that because it'll hurt my little head. Emily Henry, for the reasons I've said. The Fine Print, because I read the first 50 pages of that book and I DNF'd it because I was bored out of my mind. I tried reading The Fine Print. I hated it. I didn't want to read it. I just no. The Fine Print was a no from me. Up next, we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This one is going to go into TBR/want to read, and that's because I paid for it on my Kindle. And I feel like I have to read it because I own it. The Unhoneymooners going in, I'm not picking the book up. Same with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I just don't think I would enjoy them. They're not my kinds of books. And I just don't think I'd have a fun time. So, yeah. They're going in, I simply do not want to read them. Up next, we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And this one is going into... Love it. I love It Ends With Us. I really enjoy the book. Still not watched the movie, and I'm probably not going to watch the movie for a very long time because all that drama has put a sour taste in my mouth. Okay. As I was saying before the camera rudely cut me off, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I absolutely love this book. I really enjoyed it when I read it. It was the first Colleen Hoover book I ever read, and I had a great time with it. I really love the sequel. I know not a lot of people love It Starts With Us. I personally thought it was great. But yeah, no, I had a great time with It Ends With Us. I really liked it. I was sadly misled by being told this was a romance book. It's not a romance book. It's contemporary fiction. So if you want to read It Ends With Us, do not go into it thinking that it is a romance book because it is not. Check out your trigger warnings. I would say do this with a lot of Colleen Hoover books because they're all very triggering books. I personally don't check trigger warnings when it comes to Colleen Hoover books because, like, I don't really get triggered by many things in books. But yeah, I just I really liked this book. Like I said, I'm not going to watch the movie. I've not watched the movie yet, and I'm putting off watching the movie because all the drama with the actors has put a very sour taste in my mouth, and I wasn't a fan of the casting anyway. But that's beside the point. This is about the book. I really enjoy the book, and that's why it's going in Love It, because I do love it. Next is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, another one going in I'm simply not going to read. Reminders of Him. This one is going in would sell my soul to experience it again for the first time. That book, fuck me. Do you know what? I'm moving Enter Those up to that category as well, because I absolutely fucking loved Enter Those and I want to reread it again for the first time. Yeah, no, just those two books are two of my favourite Colleen Hoover books. Just like, I adore them. I loved them when I read them. I love Reminders of Him. And I just... it hurts my little heart. I'm not gonna lie. I just love them. Next, we have The Sweetest Obsession. This one will go into want to read because I've heard apparently it's good and spicy. Ellie Hazelwood, no. Just no. I will probably get hate for that, but I have read a Ellie Hazelwood book and I did not enjoy that book in the slightest. It's a 2-star read for me. I read Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. Did not like the story, did not like the book, did not like the characters, and I was not a fan of the writing, and it just put me off reading any other Ellie Hazelwood book. And a lot of people would say, oh, well, that's a bad one to read for your first Ellie Hazelwood. I don't care. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't like her writing, so I'm not going to pick up another Ellie Hazelwood book. Next is To Love Jason Thorne. This one's going in. I have no interest in it because I tried reading this, and it was the cheesiest shit I ever read. Cheesy as hell. Also, okay... Now, if they're in a relationship and he calls her little one because she's a small person, that I think is cute and kind of sweetie. If they're both kids and he's just a little bit older and at the start of the story he's calling her little one at the start when they're kids, no, okay, no, it gave me the biggest ick ever. I could not do it. So that one is just, no, I DNF'd. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm going to put this one in want to read because I do want to give it a chance because I know a lot of people love it and I know my mum read it and she really liked it, but I just haven't read it yet. The Hating Game, I'm not going to read this purely for the fact I watched the movie and I did not like the movie at all. I was so bored by the movie. I know the book is probably better, but the movie just put me off. My baby, Heartstopper, you are coming right up to would sell my soul to experience this for the first time again. I literally did an entire video dedicated to me reading the Heartstopper books again, okay? Heartstopper is one of my all-time favourite things ever on the planet. I have read the series multiple times. I love all of the comics. I love the TV show. And I think season 3 was the last season. And if it is, that does make me very, very sad because I really wish they would do a season 4. But, because I've not heard anything online if they're doing a season 4. But Heartstopper means everything to me. It's a comfort series. And I would sell my soul to reread it for the first time again because I just absolutely love it. Okay. Where the Crawdads Sing and The Atlas Six are both going into, I simply am not picking these books up because I just don't have any interest in reading them. They're not books I want to read or have ever had any interest in reading. I think I used to own The Atlas Six and Where the Crawdads Sing, but I think I've sold them since. And yeah, I'm just not going to read them. And then the final one is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I do plan on reading this very soon. I'm reading it for a vlog on my channel. I'm reading it for a vlog on my channel. I do enjoy Taylor Jenkins Reid writing. And I want to give The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo a chance. God. Got the hiccups now. I think I've been talking too fast. But yeah, no, that is all of the books in their categories. There's not a lot. I didn't put any books in Love It. And I only have ones that either would sell my soul to read again for the first time, or it was enjoyable but forgettable, and then it just gets worse from there. And then obviously I have quite a few in my TBR pile, but yeah, I enjoy doing this. I like doing tier ranking videos. I also enjoy watching them. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, but that is now the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed me tier ranking some BookTok books. I do have some other ideas for more tier ranking videos that I want to do, but I don't want to do them all in one go, so I want to, like, you know, spread them out a little bit. But yes, no, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you know when I upload. I upload every Friday at 6 p.m. and every 2 weeks on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Like I said, every 2 weeks I'm posting a reading vlog now on a Tuesday, just because I want to get more videos out there for people to watch and enjoy. I also want to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed to my channel recently. I am officially over 100 subscribers. I'm at 102 subscribers, and I am so happy and grateful to every single person who has subscribed to my channel. It just feels amazing that people have watched my videos and enjoyed them and subscribed to me. I appreciate every single one of you, and my goal for this year is to get to 150 subscribers, and yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe like I said, and I will catch you guys next time.